Hey, game changer. Are you stuck in a good job that's killing you from the inside? Are you at the point where you've stopped dreaming about what's next and just surviving what is? If that hits close to home, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Sam. I am a career and leadership coach, and this is Locker Talk, where we break down the plays that get mid-career pros unstuck and back in the game. And today we're talking about the 100K money trap. So here's what's real. You get to a point in your career, you really worked hard to cross that 100K threshold. You've hit the six figures, and eventually it stops feeling like a milestone and it starts to feel like a cage. The money's good, the title looks solid, but your energy is busted. Your clarity is really fading, and you're sitting inside this six-figure money trap. When you hang on to what's familiar because the stakes feel too high to move, you wait. You tell yourself once things settle, once the market shifts, meanwhile, your motivation, your clarity, your growth are slowly eroding, and you're slowly feeling like, what am I doing here anymore? Right? It's that moment where you look around and you're like, how do I make a move? And the real problem is, you're not underqualified. It's not like you couldn't make a move. You're just being overcautious without a strategy to really help you take that next step. One of my absolute favorite people I've ever worked with, and one of my mentors, came to me a couple of years ago and said, Sam, this place is a money trap. I feel like I have just outgrown it. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I really don't think that this is where I should be and what I should be doing. But the money's too good. I don't think I can make this somewhere else. I don't think I can have the work-life balance that I want. I don't think I can, get everything I've got now, and I just feel stuck. And I felt stuck for the last few years. And so we talked it through and really talked about, well, what would it need? What would you need to make the moves, right? Got super clear on all of that. And eventually they found something that worked for them. They found a role that was the next step in growth, that did keep that salary, actually increase the salary. And they took some strategic action to really get there. And I think the thing that we think about all the time is, like we've got to wait for this opportunity to fall into our lap. We've got to wait for, something to get a little easier in our life. We need to wait till the kids hurt, get to a certain place before we start to shake things up. But you don't really need the perfect moment or the perfect, clarity to really make those moves. You really just need direction and some strategy and a system to back you up with making those moves at this level that you want to stay at. And the point isn't really to sprint blindly into the job market and say, okay, let me apply, apply, apply. It's to really start forward with support, with adaptability, with some focus that hits this criteria and breaks you out of this box and breaks you out of this trap. And so, if you check out the blog this week, we walk through 5 plays that really separate the people who are stuck in the money trap and those who make the moves that land them the six-figure job that they want next. And high level, those 5 things are really branding yourself, your career. You can call it your personal brand. I like to call it a career brand, but branding yourself as experienced, as the leader who's sitting there, right? You've got to let yourself not be the doer, but be the person who leads yourself and others to real results, right? And so we tend to be too close to our experience and too close to our story, and we end up underselling what we really have become over the last few years. And that is what's so important to make sure that you can explain to other people and justify that salary level that you want to be at. The second thing is really aiming with precision. So we tend to look. I love the term that's out there called spray and pray, right? Like, let's just apply to whatever we can find. Let's, search and, do whatever, hit a million applications. Eventually something will land, right? Eventually somebody will just hand me the job. And in a market like we've got now, that's just not happening. There's no way. It doesn't work. That part is broken. And especially the higher your salary goes, the less likely it is that somebody's just going to hand you that job. You've really got to be very precise with what types of jobs that you're targeting and really understand the criteria for yourself and really understand what's realistic to get you where you want to go. And it's going to require you to make some decisions. Play number three is really making sure that your um, documents, your resources, your assets are speaking for themselves. So your resume, your LinkedIn profile, making sure that they are showing that you are this person who drives results, that you are the leader that you really are in your space, in your field, in your job, and ensuring that you're not talking about your past, you're talking about the future. It's that signaling forward that's really so important. And number four, you've got to have a modern momentum, not the old tricks, the old tactics, right? The days of let me just apply, let me, throw some things out there and something will come my way. I mean, we are in a hyper competitive market. And so you've got to really ensure that you're strategically making moves so you don't burn out in the process of trying to find jobs. You've got to really use a lot of back channeling, really use a lot of network leverage. And that doesn't mean just going out and randomly going to networking events, DMing every single person on LinkedIn. Like none of that. We are going to be real strategic, real smart in how we're moving and making sure that you're leveraging the power of referrals, that you're leveraging the power of finding the roles that don't get posted or that you find out about them before they get posted. Because, like I said, hyper competitive job market, you got to be really strategic, or else you'll just burn out or waste a lot of time that you don't have trying to make those moves. And fifth, you've got to be really good at interviewing and negotiation, right? In this market where there are hundreds of applicants, there's a lot of people showing up. There's a lot of people getting to the interview round. And you've got to be the person who stands out as the clear and obvious choice. And you've got to have the power, have the confidence to negotiate for the salary that you want. I see people leave money on the table all the time. I see people leave opportunities on the table all the time because they're not positioning themselves right. They're not justifying why they're worth the money that they really are. And it's just costing them at the end of the day. And so you've got to have the right frameworks. You've got to have the right talk track for yourself, for the answers to interview questions, and when you get to the negotiation part, so that you're landing the money and you're landing the things that really matter to you at the end of the day, not to mention just landing the job. So even nailing just one of these plays can shift your whole trajectory. And the question doesn't become, can I do it? It's which play moves me forward first, right? Which is the one I need to go tackle? What do I do? How do I handle this? So definitely check out the blog that I posted this week. It's got some information, got a couple of first things for you to think about. And if you're in the moment where, hey, I need to land my next job here eventually, right? In the next few months, right now, whatever it may be. And I want the strategy, I want the playbook, I want the things that are really working. Then come join me in my workshop series that is the Land Your Next 100K Job Workshop. It's going to be just a 5-part, 5-week series where we walk through all of these plays in detail. I tell you everything that I use with my clients and get you to land these six-figure jobs like my clients are. I actually just had 2 people last week that told me they got the jobs and both were making well over 6 figures. So it's good stuff. It works. I've seen it work. I've seen what doesn't work. I've seen where people stall out. So if you're interested in making the moves right now, then shoot me a DM on LinkedIn. I'll put a link to that in the show notes, or just find a way to message me. You can reply back to the email if you get my emails, and we can talk and I can give you the information on the workshop series. It's going to be good. It's going to get you moving in the right direction and helping you get the right strategy to land that six-figure job and get you out of this trap that we sometimes fall into. So, we are not here to drift in our careers. We're here to lead. I want you to put down the popcorn and get in the game. See you next week.